Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show. Hello if you're new. So today's video is going to be a review of the film Tigertail, which dropped on Netflix today. Now I was pretty excited to watch Tigertail because it's been getting a lot of hype on film Twitter, specifically like Asian film Twitter and POC film Twitter, because it's got an Asian cast, it's got an Asian writer, Asian director. And from what I was seeing, people were saying it's a love letter to immigrants. So I was like, okay, let's see what it's saying. I'm always skeptical about hype films because I feel like half the time they never live up to the hype. Does this one live up to the hype? I'll let you know real soon. So a quick summary of what the film is about. We chronicle the life of a Taiwanese immigrant, and he always aspired to go to America and live the American dream. But in order for him to achieve that American dream, he had to make some sacrifices. And the film kind of sees him much older in his old age, reflecting back on the choices that he's made, and kind of makes the argument of whether him living his American dream was worth the sacrifices that he made. And on top of that, it also focuses on his relationship with his daughter, which is a bit strained, and it touches on various subjects in the film. It kind of touches on obviously the American dream, family dynamics within immigrant families, marriage within immigrant communities, kind of arranged/empty nest marriages, as well as some kind of immigrant mentalities such as don't cry, don't be emotional, pressure immigrant parents often put on their kids, they have to be the best. And it also highlights the importance of immigrant communities and safe spaces, especially to immigrants who have just moved to a new country. A lot of topics that first gen or second generation immigrants will probably be able to relate with. I was watching this through the perspective of somebody who is first gen. I did definitely relate to some of the issues in the commentary brought up in this film. The way that the narrative is structured is that we kind of go in and out of the present and the past of his life. The way that the narrative is structured is that we go between the present and the past of the protagonist, Grover's life. We see him growing up in Taiwan. We see how he ended up going to America. We also see the ups and the downs of his life in America and how that has taken a toll on his relationship with his daughter, which is a bit cold, a bit unnurturing. The parts that I enjoyed the most in the film was the past. Seeing him in Taiwan when he first came to America, those are the bits that I enjoyed the most. The bits that didn't involve the daughter. Where I was most engaged was when we were just focusing on Grover and Grover's life and the issues that were going on in Grover's life. I understand what they were doing with the daughter's storyline, but I feel like when you can kind of compare the two, even though they're meant to be two separate things, Grover's storyline outshadows the Grover and his daughter's storyline, and it gets to the point where it's kind of like, I don't really care about his daughter, I don't really care about the issues that they're going with. I'm more engaged with the problems that are going on in Grover's life. I think overall the narrative was solid, it was really interesting. Grover's life is very interesting. We had highs, we had lows. They built such a complex character. Sometimes I felt sorry for him. Sometimes I felt like he'd brought on his own misery. So I feel like his character was definitely developed well. I think it's because they didn't really develop the daughter as well as they developed Grover. And I feel like we started to see a little bit more development with that storyline and their relationship near the end. And I just felt like it was a little bit rushed. Like, okay, in terms of their relationship development, they kind of just rushed the resolution at the end and kind of just squeezed it in there. I couldn't really connect to the daughter's character despite being able to relate to her. I'd be interested to know from people who have watched it, do you feel like there was a lack of development there with the father-daughter storyline, or did you think it was just fine? But yeah, overall I think the narrative was pretty solid. It definitely took us on a journey. In terms of the characters and the cast, I think the whole cast was quite solid, but I think I preferred the younger characters, including the children and the teenage versions of the cast. I think the older cast definitely did a good job too, but I think I definitely preferred the younger cast, and I think I slightly preferred their stories better as well. Overall, solid cast, solid acting. I really liked the look of the film, the kind of goldeny look that it had. The shots were beautiful, it was beautifully shot. The score was decent. Sometimes it did get a little bit repetitive, but overall, production-wise, it was great. Costume design was great. Production design was great. So overall, I thought it was a good film. I wasn't necessarily blown away by it, but I think it's still a good watch and I'd recommend watching it. In terms of who I think it would be for, I think it would definitely resonate more with first gen or second generation immigrants and an older audience. I think it would resonate more with a slightly older audience, maybe like 20s and above. So overall, taking everything into account, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I think it was a very strong 3, but not quite a 3.5. For those of you who haven't watched the film, is this a film that you are looking forward to watching? If you have watched the film, let me know what you thought of the film. Let me know what you would rate it out of 5. As always, let me know what you thought of my review. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell so you'll know when the next review is dropping. Till next time, guys. Bye.